Every time you tap a card or a phone to pay, something almost magical happens in under 2 seconds. Money you cannot see moves between banks that may be thousands of miles apart, and a stranger's shop is paid instantly with complete trust. You never think about the invisible road that money travels, but someone built that road and they charge a tiny toll on nearly every journey. And on a staggering share of the world's roads, that someone is one of just two companies. This is a series about the companies that run the world and the rivals they left behind. Today it is Visa and its near twin MasterCard. And the first thing to understand is the thing almost everyone gets wrong about them. They are not really in the business you think they are. They do not lend you money. They do not, in most countries, even issue your card. What they own is something quieter and far more powerful. They own the road. Let me untangle who actually does what, because the confusion is the whole point. When you pay, your bank, the one that issued your card, is on one side. The shop's bank is on the other. Visa is neither. Visa is the network in the middle, the set of wires and rules and trust that lets those two banks settle up in an instant anywhere on earth. It carries the message and guarantees the payment. It does not take the lending risk, and it does not chase you if you miss a bill. And for providing that road, Visa takes a very small cut of the journey. A fraction of a percent here, a few cents there. On any single purchase, it is almost nothing, far too little to notice or resent. But now multiply that fraction by every card payment, in most of the world, every second of every day, forever. A grain of sand from each transaction, and an ocean of sand at the end of the year. That is the business. It is the most elegant toll booth ever built. Here is the scale of it. Between them, Visa and MasterCard handle the clear majority of the world's card transactions outside of China, processing together well over $200 trillion of payments over the years across more than 200 countries. They are, quietly, the plumbing of global consumer spending. And because they are a network, they enjoy the most powerful advantage in business, one that is almost impossible to attack head-on. That advantage has a name. It is called the network effect, and it works like a trap made of pure convenience. Shops accept Visa because nearly every customer carries it. Customers carry Visa because nearly every shop accepts it. Each side makes the other more valuable, and the loop tightens every year. Now imagine trying to launch a brand new card. No shops want it because no customers have it, and no customers want it because no shops take it. The road is not just built. It is almost impossible to build a competing one beside it. Which raises the obvious question. In a market this enormous and this profitable, where are the competitors? And the strange answer is that the fiercest competition mostly makes the situation more entrenched, not less. Because Visa's great rival is not really an outsider. It is MasterCard, a company that works in almost exactly the same way, with the same kind of network, the same toll model, and the same fortress of convenience. They compete genuinely and hard. But they compete as a pair, a duopoly, not as a crowd. Then there are the others, who turn out, on inspection, to be less of a threat than they appear. American Express runs its own network, but deliberately stays smaller and more premium, and still often relies on the same rails. And the app you might use to pay a friend, or the checkout button from a company like PayPal or Stripe, feels like a competitor. But look closely, and most of them are usually running on top of Visa's and MasterCard's roads, not replacing them. They built a beautiful new car. It still drives on the old highway and pays the old toll. But there is one kind of challenger that is genuinely different, and it is worth watching closely. In some countries, governments and banks have built entirely new public roads, ones that skip the card networks completely. In India, a system called UPI now moves billions of payments a month, directly between bank accounts, often at little or no cost. Brazil built one called Pix. These account-to-account systems do not pay Visa a toll because they do not use Visa's road at all. They are, quietly, the first real alternative highways. And here is why that matters more than any rival card ever could. You cannot beat a network by building a slightly better network. The convenience trap defeats you. But you can beat it by making a completely different road and then persuading or nudging an entire country to drive on it at once. That usually takes a government or a central bank or a crisis to coordinate. It is rare and it is hard. But where it has happened, the toll booth has genuinely been bypassed and Visa has quietly lost that country's traffic. So the uncomfortable question this series keeps returning to has a very practical edge here. Is it wise for so much of the world's everyday spending to flow across the private roads of essentially two companies? For decades, merchants have complained that the tolls, which they largely cannot refuse, quietly raise the price of almost everything you buy, whether you pay by card or not. It is a tax you never see on a receipt, collected by a company most people never think about. Now, to be fair, they did not build this position by trickery. They built genuinely excellent, reliable, near instant global infrastructure at a time when nobody else could. And the small fee is the price of a system that simply works everywhere, all the time. That reliability is not nothing. Card payments almost never fail because the network itself has gone down. That invisible dependability is exactly what they are quietly charging you for. And that is the deeper lesson in yet another set of clothes. The most durable fortunes are often built not on making a product, but on owning the road that everyone else's products must travel. Visa never has to win your attention, or your love, or even your awareness. It simply has to sit quietly in the half second between your tap and the shop's thank you, taking its grain of sand a few 100 billion times a year on a road so convenient that, for now, almost nobody can afford to leave it.